Hi everyone, it's Kiki. Thanks for hanging out. I wanted to share some exciting news. I decided to develop my YouTube channel even further. We're like learning together here in real time, and I've written an introduction for my videos. So give me some feedback, let me know what you think, but I wrote it here, so if it looks like I'm reading from something, I am. I'm actually reading from my phone. I've just placed it. I'm using my laptop as a camera, and then I put my phone in front of the screen so I can see the words. Here it goes. It goes, "Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kiki, and I'm so excited you're here. If you're navigating the ups and downs of long COVID like I am, or you're just curious about what it's like, you're in the perfect place. I started this channel because honestly, I felt a little lonely on this journey, and I wanted to share what's been working for me and what hasn't, in a way that feels real, positive, and supportive. My goal, to help you feel empowered, informed, and inspired as we tackle this together. I'll be posting 5 times a week, sometimes twice a day, with videos on everything from brain and cell health to how I'm working on repairing my nervous system. And here's the twist. I love approaching things from a spiritual and positive angle, so if you're into that, I think you'll really vibe with my content. I'm all about creating a fun, open space for us to connect, so don't be shy. Drop your questions, comments, or even corrections if I get something wrong. This is a journey we're all on together. If this sounds like your kind of community, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let's keep lifting each other up. Okay, so what do you think? I guess you can let me know in the comments below. But I wrote something like that. If it's too long, I guess I can also make it shorter. So yesterday, I recorded a video. I did it here in Vanity, and it was primarily how I did the couch to 10K. I completed the second week altogether. I showed my breakfast, and I did like my hair routine, and I did a face mask for the first time on screen, like with something I've never used before. And I recorded it and everything, and I thought, let's try to edit this video. So I was learning how to edit the video, and that was actually quite intuitive. I used iMovie. But the issue is it hasn't exported. And I'm having trouble exporting it and sharing it as a file so I can post it up to YouTube. And that is where I am with editing. And I think I might have to use a different editing software because it seems to be glitching. It's been glitching yesterday, all day yesterday, and even today. So I might just use CapCut. And so today's video won't be edited, but yesterday's video was, and I will post that once the editing is done. So another thing today is I started another lecture series. So if you don't know, I am in school and I start school again in September, and I'm a little anxious about whether or not I will be able to concentrate or if it's going to be too much, because I know this sounds really weird, but my brain gets really hot and it gets overheated, and then I get overwhelmed, overstimulated, and I think that heat is probably from the inflammation. So for example, yesterday I was learning how to edit the video. That was fine. That was pretty intuitive. Like I said, I was using iMovie, but the moment it glitched and I was trying to figure out why did it glitch, that was a little bit more of an intense, I guess, cognitive like way of thinking. So my brain got really hot and I started to get a headache and I got really tired. So I didn't bother trying to figure out why it glitched. So instead of trying to figure that out, I'm just going to use CapCut and re-edit it again because that seems to be easier than the other mental task I have to do. So today, I actually went to my first session of 6 of a lecture series called Brain and Cell Health. And that was really interesting to me because I'm suffering from I'm suffering from a lot of neuroinflammation, and it's a little bit intense, and I would like to get that down because I have a feeling when you're going through a lot of inflammation all the time, it's probably like not the best situation for your body or your brain. And it was just the introduction today, but everything that uh, the I wonder who was teaching us this today. She has a bachelor's in psychology and neurology, and she also neuroscience, and also has her master's in that as well. So the introduction today just showed us what we were going to be learning, such as topics like understanding neurobiological mechanisms, neuroinflammation, managing symptoms, cognitive exercise, self-compassion, and working with your body. So that's what the six session lecture series will cover. And today we were talking about how science and diet plays a role in the inflammation. And she spoke about how there is I'm just reading from my notes that I made. There is an initiating event that causes our body to, what did she say? I'm gonna say it right here. I'm not editing this video today, okay? It was just too hard yesterday. I'm gonna edit it once edit all the videos once I figure out how that's gonna work. That's my vitamin list. Notes. Okay. So with chronic fatigue syndrome, it starts with an initiating event such as a virus, trauma, or environmental factors, and then that event is what causes the change in your physiological effects, which is the CFS, and it manifests in the muscle function, your libido, your organs, etc., is what she said. So that's how ME/CFS can happen, and I have that right now, and it's due to contracting the COVID virus. So my event was getting COVID last August on that kayaking event. So, and then she was speaking that CFS happens because of the mitochondria. So the mitochondria are the ones that power us. And she was stating that we have this function in our mitochondria for when we are sick, where it turns off so that way we can rest and recuperate to conserve energy for our restoration mode. But the issue with ME/CFS is that with the mitochondria, it doesn't switch back on. So like in the short term, it's good because then we can sequester ourselves, rest, recover, stay away from other people so we like possibly don't pass on the sickness. But then in the long term, if we're not creating energy, then we are depleted of energy overall. And the reason the mitochondria don't turn back on to be producing energy is because somewhere deep down inside, our body feels like that threat or the danger is still present. So that's why it's not turning back on, is it still feels like it needs to be in the danger response. And because this was the intro one, she talked about some holistic responses and diet. So the holistic response to show our body that we are no longer in the danger zone is by regulating the autonomic nervous system. And the other day, I remember I was telling you guys that like my Fitbit was saying, hey, your ANS stats show that it's on. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's on. I can feel it. I have like eczema. I get boils now. I can feel like when it's on, it's like as if my eyes start to hurt and then my nose starts to hurt. And there's just so much. So what she suggested is to reduce your stress triggers, remove any like physiological triggers like allergies, change your mindset, and try to regulate your nervous system holistically. So all of this is like holistically first lifestyle changes. So focus on that because that is your basis of how are you going to go move forward, and will give you the biggest impact first. So she mentioned things like deep breathing, improving your diet. She said after doing all of the lifestyle changes, you want to reduce what you're giving yourself inflammation, like through food and allergies, and improving your gut health. And then after you do that step, then you can add supplements and medication, and then that brings you back to a normal baseline, hoping. And She was speaking that there was a statistic that only 8% of people that have ME/CFS have recovered, but she believes that it's because they're not doctors are not taking a holistic approach, like a whole body approach, to fixing it, like a whole lifestyle change and somatic techniques. And I believe her. I think this is something I can recover from because I've had it before, and I just had to switch everything. And it wasn't just a one and done. You couldn't just take a stimulant like how doctors are prescribing it. So I wonder if I can show you this. Is there, okay, maybe I'll just show this to my iPad. Because, I wanted to show you my screen, but I don't know if that's possible, if I can show my screen on this QuickTime. All right, 1 of 82. How do I go to this page? This page is number 12. All right. So weird. I guess it's not showing up properly, but here is the recovery pyramid. I will show it. I will show you. So you want to start with nervous system regulation, mindset, stress reduction, remove triggers, and then you work your way up. Sometimes people use supplements and medications first. Oopsies. But if you're still giving yourself, like, say, whatever's super inflammatory to you and you're trying to take a supplement, that's not going to help. So you want to do all the ones at the bottom and work your way up. What else did she talk about? So that was just about general inflammation. And then she told us about what neuroinflammation is and why it happens. And here's my note. It says, neuroinflammation is defined as activation of the brain's innate immune system in response to an inflammatory challenge. Small cells in the brain, which usually clean up messes and get rid of excess debris, become overactive and do too much, producing too many inflammatory chemicals. So that's what I feel like is happening with my brain. And I feel like this is the perfect series for me. So I'm going to be sharing as much information as I can from these series. So that way I know that I can tell you guys, and that means I've learned it and then I can use it. Some of the causes of neuroinflammation are traumatic brain injury, could be stroke, extremely high stress or high trauma, your gut, so gut permeability issues, like if you have IBS, it affects your blood-brain barrier. There's multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and then environmental pollution such as toxic mold. There's diabetes, eating gluten if you have celiac, systemic inflammation, and viruses, which all cause neuroinflammation. And then this is interesting. Once you have that neuroinflammation, there is a secondary effect because your brain is trying to cope, your body is trying to cope. Then you can become depressed because you don't have the energy to keep yourself. Oh my God, my eyes are hurting. There's secondary effects, like you get depression because you can't boost yourself up like usual. You get anxiety because you can't think clearly, chronic fatigue because the energy is just being pumped into the whole central nervous system. And all of this brain inflammation, they're saying, is one of the reasons why fibromyalgia comes up, chronic pain, cognitive difficulties, and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And I can really relate to what she's saying because I do feel like, I have cognitive difficulties and sort of like Parkinson's. When I'm walking, I feel like I'm on a boat and I lose my balance a lot. It's, for someone who used to dance, feeling like I'm dizzy just walking down the hallway is a little scary because that's not safe. So, and then she spoke about diet. So one of the things we can control right away is changing our diet. And fun fact is inflammation from the brain goes down the vagus nerve into the gut because our brain is connected to our gut with there's an HPA axis. So because that is connected, the inflammation from the brain or the inflammation from the gut causes a systemic immune response and a feedback loop of inflammation, and it just like keeps going. So it is important to have This is why it's important to have a good diet, because the gut messenger pathways directly affect our body's ability to regulate inflammation. And this is what they told us to do, is to, for your diet, if you're trying to figure it out, she was suggesting, do an elimination diet for inflammation, but the TLDR is what to do. Eat a variety of fibers such as nuts, seeds, fruit, vegetable, and grain. Lots of water, 10 cups within the first 10 hours of waking, which is more than 8, but it's 10 because when you have inflammation, you got to filter it out. Polyphenols are great for you, which are found in berries, dark chocolate, tea, apples, citrus, onion, soybeans, and coffee. Also cherries. Unsaturated fats are good for you, and also found in almonds, pecans, walnuts, flax seeds, pumpkin, sesame oils, and plant oils, olive, peanut, and canola. And you try to increase your protein intake. And the other day I was talking to you guys about when you increase your protein, you can help your body repair and reduce inflammation. And there is a list here of what to avoid. And it says gluten, there's growing evidence supporting a potential link between dietary gluten and neurodegenerative disease in susceptible population. And then if you have a milk allergy, avoid that. Sugar and sweeteners, processed food, too much caffeine. So she said 1 cup is fine in the morning. That's what I'm doing, and there's polyphenols in it. Saturated fats, avoid that, such as butter, but I love butter, so I can figure it out. And alcohol. And I don't drink alcohol. I've stopped drinking alcohol because I think my body's changed from the long COVID, and that's okay. It's better for it. It's better that I can't drink alcohol. So pretty much to sum it up, if what to eat and what not to eat, just avoid the processed foods and processed sweeteners and things like that. Just eat whatever is like healthy. I'm not going to say healthy because people have different ideas what healthy is, but anything that is like closest to its form in nature, unprocessed. So like if it's an apple, you can eat an apple whole, but like eating an apple pie, it's probably, they're both apple things, but the whole apple is healthier than apple pie. So hopefully that makes sense. So eat like whole, like a green pepper. I'm not saying just only eat the green pepper, but if you're going to eat food, make sure it's like closest to the origin or closest to its form. Oh, and a tip here is if there's something that has tannins in it, a tannin is something that will reduce the absorption of, say, if you're taking supplements or medication, or if you're eating a lot of protein. If you have like coffee, which has tannins in it, if you are going to eat food or drink your coffee, try to have 30 to 60 minutes between the two, the coffee and the meal, so that way the coffee doesn't ruin the absorption of your protein. Oh, yes. And another thing, omega-3s are really good. Apparently, we get a lot of omega-6 in our diet already. So, if you're eating processed foods, I don't eat processed foods. So, I'm going to take omega-3s and 6s. But she was saying that so many people in the Western world get a lot of omega-6 from processed food that taking omega-3 and 6 can make it imbalance. But omega-3 is what you need to supplement. Probiotics and prebiotics, which you can find in food. So do food first. She's like very like food first, and I love that. I'm a food first person too, and lifestyle change person. And you can also reduce inflammation through oral hygiene. So if you brush your teeth, it says brushing your teeth twice daily and flossing daily can help reduce inflammation and save on dental bills. Inflammation of the gums has been linked to increased inflammation of the brain. Now, I don't know if it's the chicken or the egg. If the brain inflammation means you'll get inflammation here, or inflammation here will put inflammation there. But you know what? Having a nice smile and like fresh breath, and I just love having clean teeth and the feeling of it. So I recommend that. And then she gave us a list of supplements that help with inflammation, especially brain inflammation. So I wrote it down. I'm probably going to buy most of it. And she recommended buying essential fatty acids in the form of omega-3, minimum 1,000 milligrams. And then she said NAC. What did I write NAC was for? I'm going to tell you because, let's see. NAC is a precursor to glutathione, and glutathione, when they say you are going to take only one antioxidant because you don't want to have too many, take that one because it's the mother of all antioxidants, and it's like very effective for many different things. So I'm going to get that. Oh, oopsies. And then magnesium, because it reduces your neuronal injury and helps balance whatever balance a lot of things in your brain. So she said magnesium threonate, which is for the brain, or magnesium bisglycinate, which I feel like threonate crosses the blood-brain barrier easier, and bisglycinate is more for muscles, from what I remember. I could be wrong. Please write it down if I'm wrong. But that should help your brain. And then micronized PEA, that is also another supplement that, my doctor also suggested that to reduce inflammation and pain. So I'm definitely going to take that. It's on my diagnosis. It's a type of protein. I think it's like, let's see, what is it called? Let me pull it up so that way I can tell you the right name, because PEA, that's no. Micronized PEA. Okay, so PEA stands for palmitoylethanolamide. PEA. And it's a type of protein that's supposed to help reduce all of the inflammation. So I'm definitely going to do that. It says get vitamin D. I have vitamin D. I have actually a vitamin D and K because they work better together. Coke Q10. And she said that one is going to help with the mitochondrial health. And I do feel like my mitochondria turn on and off because I'll have so much energy like I did yesterday. I had so much energy. I ran. I even learned how to edit and everything. And today I'm like 50%. Just creatine and amino acids. And she said that if you don't have all the money in the world to buy all these supplements, start with the omega-3, NAC, and magnesium threonate or bisglycinate to start. My doctor told me PEA, so I'm going to add that. And another thing about inflammation, and she said if you did all of the lifestyle changes, you're reducing your triggers and whatnot, then you can try low-dose naltrexone. And that's really interesting. I signed up for the clinical trials for low-dose naltrexone because I read that it reduces inflammation, and I want to be part of the numbers and the data, so that way if anyone else ever gets long COVID again or ME/CFS, and if this works, there's like data to support it, and I'm helping. Like, I love the fact that I can help, and there's already been some studies showing that it does work, so I'm excited to try it and be part of that trial. So anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please write it down. Like I said, I make a lot of mistakes, and everything that I said is just a review of what I learned today. I'm not telling you to do it, of course. I'm just sharing what I learned and then what I'm going to do. And then hopefully I can report back to tell you whether or not it works. And then in a few hours today at 4:30, I have another one. I have another session, and let me see what it is called. I think it's called rewiring the nervous system. So I'm feeling really positive again about my condition, and I'm hoping with these lifestyle changes I can create a really big ripple effect with my immune system, and I can heal from the central nervous system dysfunction, and that I can regain control of my life, improve quality of life. But in the meantime, I'm going to share everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm learning on here, so that way I can remember it, and also I can track my brain fog and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully this helps someone else. Okay, well anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.